Hey everyone, Tim here from CubeKing77.com, here to do a full review video of the Slim Bean ROM on your Sprint Samsung Galaxy Nexus. I'm not doing a how to install video, but to install this video, I do recommend doing a full wipe, install the ROM, and then you need to install the Google Apps add-on, the G Apps add-on. I will link to where you can get both of those files in the description of the video. Otherwise though, let's go ahead and check out this ROM. Right away you will notice that the screen resolution looks different. They didn't necessarily change the screen resolution, but they did change the DPI, and I believe it stands for dots per inch. I can't remember, but I'm almost positive that's what it stands for. Someone can correct me if I am wrong. Otherwise though, changing this DPI allows you to appear to have much more screen space. It kind of makes things smaller and just kind of gives you the feel of having much more screen space, which it does allow for. Obviously, since things are smaller, you get more screen space. It is based off of Android 4.1.2 Jelly Bean. We can go ahead and check that out. Go ahead and go into Settings, scroll down, go to About Phone. Under About Phone, you will see Android version 4.1.2. Slim version lets you know what version of the ROM you are running as well. So that's kind of neat that they've compiled it from the latest source code from Android 4.1.2. They use Holo Launcher, which is made to emulate stock Jelly Bean launcher. It does have auto rotate as well, which is very neat. When you go to your app drawer, the apps look very spaced out just because the DPI has changed and gives you a feeling of a lot more space, which is not a big deal whatsoever, just because it looks actually very clean because it's easier to see all the applications. They're not all jumbled into one. Also, before I forget, when you pull down the notification bar, of course, it does have the Jelly Bean pinch in to minimize and maximize, but they've also used code from, I believe, CyanogenMod. You can, with text messages, you'll see I sent myself one. It says, "Hi." You can directly call the person or quick reply, which is an awesome new feature. You can minimize that as well, maximize that, but hitting quick reply brings up this option. All you have to do is hit type to reply. I'll say, "Hey there," and hits the send button, and then it will go ahead and say send message, and it will send it. And I don't even have to open up the messaging application. So that's one of the awesome features about this ROM. They have included that. You can swipe away notifications as well. That's a given right there, obviously. Down at the bottom, you will see that the on-screen buttons are also smaller due to the DPI change. You can change the DPI back to default if you'd like to. That's no big deal whatsoever. You can mess with that on your own. You can go ahead and go into Settings, scroll down, go to Developer Options. You have to turn them on, but you will see LCD density is right there. It's 241 by default. I believe it's 300 something is stock. I can go ahead and there's actually a frequently asked questions page, and I think that's one of the questions, so I can link to that on how to change your LCD density back to stock, etc. So you can change that back if you'd like to, if you want to just use these ROM features and just have it look stock. You can't stand the small print, small screen, anything like that. Going into your email, you'll see even it shows up more emails on the page just because all the text is so much smaller. There's also a ton of settings with this ROM. You can just go ahead and go to Settings, and you will see there's interface settings here. Under these interface settings, you have General UI, change your custom carrier label. There's also, this is one of my favorite features of this ROM, there's an Enable Kill All button. And what that is when you have your recent running apps window open, you'll see I only have one. I believe I just did a reboot, so I don't have any applications open, but they have a Kill All button. So if there's actually, let's demonstrate that. So let's say I go to my dialer, which is the stock dialer, which it does look a little bit different just because of the DPI change, of course. We can go ahead and go into our browser, hit home, go ahead and go into Chrome, hit home. And then we can go ahead and go into our recent running apps, and you'll see there's more. Just go ahead and hit Kill All and go back into it, and you'll see no recent apps. So instead of just having to tediously swipe away all of these applications that populate that list, you can just hit Kill All, and they all are swiped away for you. So that's one of the that's one of the coolest features on there, just because I always miss that from my Galaxy S3 running a TouchWiz ROM when I do run an AOSP style ROM. So I'm glad they did include that. They have an OTA option, which you can check for updates for the ROM itself. So you can go ahead and go to ROM, and then I believe you can hit check for a ROM update. It says no update available, so there you go. So that's nice. It will keep you updated Performance settings, don't mess with these unless you know exactly what you're doing. You can change processor speed, etc., minimum, maximum frequencies. You can change the governor. Again, you can disable your boot animation, which will make the phone boot up a little bit faster as well. So there's an option there. You have quiet hours, you have themes as well. You can just type CM10 in the Play Store and look for some new themes if you'd like to check those out. Otherwise, back to those interface settings. I know I only covered general UI, but there's power menu settings. So when you press and hold the power button, you can have it show reboot, screenshot, airplane mode profile, silent toggle. You have some status bar tweaks with the battery icon style. You can have icon only, text only, icon with text, icon with center text, or you can hide it. You would want to hide it because you can use a battery bar that's up at the top of your screen. You can also have a charging animation there. You can change the battery bar's color and thickness. You can change the clock style. You can also change the color of the clock. I do like the stock color, so I'm not going to mess with that, but you can change it. You can change the AM PM style as well. You can also have a brightness slider when you slide across the status bar. So I believe if you press and hold up here and you go left and right, it will change the brightness. You can see it doing that there because I turned that on. So just press and hold up there. You'll feel it vibrate a little bit, and then you can change the brightness just by moving your finger. So now brightness should be all the way up when I do that. You can turn that on and off. So other settings that you can change, you also have notification drawer settings. You can change the widget buttons that are shown up here. You'll see I've customized my own from Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, vibrate, sound toggle, along with flashlight. So you can turn on the LED light as a flashlight. That's another nice, neat toggle. You can change which buttons show up. You have a bunch of different ones. You can airplane mode, fast charge, GPS, Wi-Fi, mobile data, LTE, a bunch of them that you can mess with. You can also change the order of them. If you don't like the specific order that it gets put in, you can change the order as well. Navigation bar, which is the bottom 3 buttons. You have options to add other buttons. You can change the quantity of them. You can change the menu button. I have the menu button show up as invisible, so I can actually still press it and it brings up the menu option. You just don't see the dots, but the menu button is there. I just have it as invisible and not showing up. You can change the button glow animation. I've changed the color of these to match the stock ICS or stock Jelly Bean blue color there. So I've changed that. You can change the navigation button transparency as well. So very awesome changes. Navigation bar ring is actually another cool, neat feature. When you press and hold that home button, you can obviously quickly go into Google Now, but you can also add targets. So if you wanted to add one, we can go ahead and take a screenshot, kill app, screen off, Google Now, select application. So let's say we wanted to take screenshot, press and hold that home button, swipe over there. It should take a screenshot of the screen, and there it is. So it took a quick screenshot. You can minimize, maximize the preview. You can swipe it away if you'd like to. You can also have it be custom applications. So if you're in an application, you always want to jump back to your messaging application. Press and hold. You can have a shortcut to your messaging app. So that's another nice, neat feature of this ROM. That's a really cool one. I like that one a lot. You have lock screen settings. When you can change your lock screen, you can enable weather, calendar, sliders, shortcuts. I've actually enabled weather on mine, so you'll see weather shows up there letting me know what it is. I also have custom shortcuts. You can add 2 more, I believe, down at the bottom left and bottom right. I didn't add those myself, but you have messaging, you have Gmail, Google Now, camera, and unlock. Those are the ones that I have decided to use myself. There's also sound and display settings, nothing out of the ordinary there. Really about it for settings that I wanted to cover. Overall, though, it's very smooth, very snappy. I've been running it for a couple days now, and it's great. Opening and closing applications. I don't have any lag whatsoever. I do want to point out, since your DPI has changed, if you do want to change it, you got to clear data out of the Play Store application if you do change it. Just kind of keep that in mind. But you might run into this with a couple applications. I haven't had any issues with certain ones, but the speed test application has always given issues, but you'll see that it's very small on the screen, which is obviously not a big deal. I also want to make a quick note. I did get 4G LTE in Algonquin, Illinois. Yesterday, last night at dinner, we went out to Algonquin and went out for dinner, and I got LTE. So I don't know how far I was from a tower, but about 4 megabits per second download, about 2.2 megabits per second upload speed. So not too bad on 4G LTE. Just kind of wanted to point that out to you guys, letting you know that I did get some LTE. Overall, though, of course, you do have Google Now. You can ask whatever you want. As always, what's the weather like in Chicago, Illinois?
59 degrees and mostly cloudy in Chicago.
Okay, there you have it. But again, that's about all I wanted to cover. Same thing, you don't have to continuously swipe away all these things. Just hit kill all, it goes away. It's one of my favorite features about this ROM. So that'd be the Slim Bean ROM on your Samsung Galaxy Nexus. Definitely let me know what you think. Be sure to leave a comment. Be sure to subscribe as well. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Google+. All links will be in the description of the video below. As always, thanks for watching. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up.